everyone! Welcome back to another episode of Crochet Basics. I know, it's not Pokemon videos like I normally do on this channel. But I figure I'd give you guys a little bit more, how should I call it? Another tutorial for crocheting for when I eventually get to crocheting a set of Pokemon. Right now though, I'm going to go one step beforehand and show you how to make an egg. I've taken this one from a design for a stuffed Clops toy created by Voodoo Maggie. I'll link her pattern and the book you can get it from down in the description. But before that, let's start with some basic stitches to learn. Not all of them you'll use in this, but you might use them later, so attention. And make sure you have your crochet hook and your yarn. Now, I taught you in the last video how to make a slip knot, as well as how to do a chain stitch. And I'll show you first the chain stitch again, because you'll want a few of these on your hook already for when we start this first stitch. 6 should be enough. Now, the first stitch I'm going to show you is what's called the half double crochet. Kind of in between the single crochet and the next stitch I'll show you the double crochet in difficulty, but it'll help you get an idea of what's going to come up later on in these episodes and tutorials. Anyway, for the half double crochet, yarn over once without inserting this into one of the chains here. Then insert it in the chain, either under both loops or just one of them, depending on the pattern you're following or what you're making. Yarn over again, pull that through the chain or loop, and you should have 3 loops now on your hook. Yarn over again, and then pull through all 3 loops. And there's your half double crochet. Sorry, this camera doesn't focus very well. One of these days I'll do better. Anyway, I'll show you again just in case. Yarn over. Insert into your stitch. Yarn over again. Pull it through the stitch. And then pull it through. Preferably without it coming undone halfway through. I'll undo it really quick, because the next thing I'm going to show you is called the double crochet. And just like before, you're going to need to yarn over the hook, then insert it into your indicated stitch or chain. Right now we'll do it on the 4th chain from the hook. Yarn over again, just like you did with the half double crochet. Pull it through. Yarn over once more, but this time don't go through all 3 loops. Just go through the first 2. You should have 2 left this way. So what you want to do is yarn over again, pull it through the loops, and there is your double crochet. I'll show you once more. Yarn over, put your hook in the stitch, yarn over again, pull the yarn through the stitch to make a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, just pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over again, and then pull it through. And that's how you make the double crochet. Now you're probably wondering why I keep undoing the stitches. This just keeps you from wasting yarn if you made a mistake. though it can be quite a pain if you've done like several different rows using the same color and you just realize, oh man, I shouldn't have done that one stitch. It's supposed to be this one. Believe me, it's a pain, but better than having to cut it off and start all over. Okay. For this next trick I'm going to show you, it's going to be pretty simple. I'm going to start with first a couple of single crochets just to get you started. And so you can see the difference mostly between what I'm about to do. If you don't remember how to do a single crochet, see the first video right here. Anyway, we've got 2 already, and this is what it'll normally look like. Close up. Now, for the next stitch, we're going to do what's called an increment, which is basically just doing the same stitch twice in the same stitch. Well, you'll see what I mean. I'll show it with the single crochets. And it's basically just one of the stitch, and in that same space or stitch, do it again. You'll usually use this when you want to make something bigger, or if you're going to try and make a sort of peaks and valleys ripple effect in your work. This is especially true when making stuffed animals. Now, in the same stitch, I'll show you how to make a decrease or a stitch together sort of thing. In the different patterns, depending on what you're doing, it'll be 2, whatever stitch they want you to decrease by, and then COG for together. We'll use single crochet for this one because of the pattern I'll show you. First, insert the hook into the stitch for the single crochet and yarn and pull over like you would normally do for a single crochet. This time though, don't pull a yarn through, just insert your hook into the next chain or stitch. Yarn over and pull through again, just like you would with a normal single crochet. This time, yarn over and pull through all the loops you have. I don't really have the effect very well, but normally with a few spaces in between, it would give you a sort of up and down effect. I'll undo this and maybe I'll be able to give you a better idea. So first, again, insert the hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull it through. It looks like I messed up, so one sec while I redo that. Insert, yarn over, pull it through. There should be 2 loops. Don't finish it, just insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, and pull it through. Then yarn over once more and pull through all the loops you have on your hook. And when you have the stitch done and you make a normal single crochet or something, as you can see, it would start to make it curve a little bit with the 2 ends going up. Can you see? I'll figure out a better angle next time. Yeah, I don't think my camera likes to see it. Anyway, let's go on to our project. For this project, you'll need 1.5 ounces of scrap yarn, 1 size F crochet hook, stuffing, and a tapestry needle. Okay, for this egg, like I said, it's based on the Cyclops pattern created by Voodoo Maggie. And we're basically just making the body of the Cyclops and nothing else. I if you want to make the full cyclops, like I said, I'll leave the name of the book you can find this pattern in the description. So first, make 2 chain stitches. 1 and 2. Then, in the first chain that you make 6 single crochets. This should give you a circle once you're done. Now, that's your basis. And just for your information, the rows from now on are going to be counted as rounds. So how they're counted in your pattern will depend on what book or what the pattern is saying. And for the next row, you're going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch. Basically an increase, like I showed you earlier in the video. You should have 12 single crochets on your hook right now. And if it seems like you're losing track of which row you're on, try putting a different colored piece of yarn in between the last stitch that you made of the previous row or round and the one that you're just about to make. Anyway, next row is going to be first 1 single crochet, like that, and then 2 in the next single crochet. And the next one is another single crochet, like that, and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. So repeat this around until you have 18 stitches. For your next row, increase the number of stitches that you're going to make just 1 stitch in. In this case, you've got 1 single crochet, then another stitch with another single crochet, and then the next one, make 2 in the same stitch. And let me know in the comments if you can see this okay. I want to be able to make sure everyone has an equal chance to see this. Like I said, 1 stitch, 1 stitch, then 2. These gradual increases are going to be what makes your egg round, essentially. And like I said, in the next 2 stitches, 1 single crochet each, and then in the first one, make 2 in it. And you'll basically repeat this around again until you have 24 stitches in the round. One way you guys can keep track of what rounds you're on and what you need to do, take a close count and look at how many stitches you've got going. See how right now the ones we're putting them in are following the 1 single then 2 singles in a stitch. Once you start to get back to the 2 stitches of just 1 single crochet with 1 double, 1 stitch that has 2 in it, then you'll know that you've reached the end of the round. Like I said though, pretty much easier just to put in another color of yarn to serve as a stitch for a round hammer on a project like this. Especially when my camera is not doing very well. Speaking of cameras not doing well. Okay, for the 4th row, you're just doing all single crochets in each stitch. So you'll have 24 stitches still, but they're all single crochets. Be easier to show you guys once I have a decent editing software or video set up. But you can already see that it's starting to form a little cup right here, which is what we're looking for our little egg. In the next row, just make 3, and each stitch make 1 single crochet. Do this for 3 stitches. One, 2, 3. And then in your 4th stitch, make 2 in the same stitch. With a single crochet. Then for the next 3 stitches, just 1. 1. And then 3. And in the next stitch, 2. And repeat this around. As you can see, I almost didn't do that right, so let's see. Not always easy to tell on these, like I said. So yeah, the 3 stitches before you end up with a 2 and 1 is where you're going to stop this row. So it wasn't too far off, because next row you basically just do all single crochets until you get back to the last of the 2 and 1 stitches here, which means the number of stitches in this row should be the same as the one we just finished. And if you need a minute to double check your work or to go back and see step in this again, feel free to do so. I've been doing this for a few years, so I've got a good hang of it, but if you guys are new, you may need to keep looking back. No worries. Plus, I'll likely be speeding up parts of the video so that you don't get bored. Or so you can get to the next step more quickly. If your arm's starting to feel sore or your fingers at this point, the way mine is right now, you can feel free to take a break. While this is a simple pattern that you can do quickly enough, I don't expect you guys to try and do it all in one go if you're new. Okay. Next row, this should be row 7 minus the row that makes the first 6 stitches, the very center one right here. And you're going to be making for it first a single crochet, and first 1, then 1 and 2, 3, 4 stitches. Each of those stitches only having 1 stitch in each. In the next one, you guessed it, we make 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And then 1, 2, 3, and 4 stitches that only have 1 stitch, with the 5th one having 2. Repeat this around. Which in this case means until you get to a point where you have 4 single crochets before a twofer. You should see that it's starting to get more round as you go along, more like an egg. And if you don't feel like you want to sew this into your project at the end, just leave it in the center like this. We'll stuff this anyway, so no worries with that part. Now for the next 3 rows, you're going to be doing 1 single crochet in every stitch. Since it might be hard to keep track of your rows, I would most definitely recommend putting a piece of yarn in. Now, where did I? Alright, you guys can get to see that. Like I said, this piece of yarn or string right here will be your stitch marker. And for the next 3 rows, you're going to just do single crochets, 1 in each stitch. You can see we've got our 3 rows after this little string here. And thankfully, you are not going to be doing any more increasing in the next few rows, because I think this is about where you get your width. According to Miss Voodoo's original pattern, the width should be 2.5 inches, and it should only be about 3 inches tall. I think this one's going to turn out a little bigger because I end up with bigger stitches, which means I probably should have used a smaller hook. One way to change the size of your project is by using a different size hook, or just making tighter stitches or looser. As it is, we don't need that there anymore, and like I said, no more increases, just decreases. And in this row, that means first, let me get this back over here so I don't lose my count again. For the next 4 stitches, they'll all be 1 single crochet in each. 1, 2, 3, and 4. With the next stitch is insert the hook, yarn over, pull through, put your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, and pull through all 3 loops, aka your decrease or 2 single crochet together. Can you guys see it now in the actual pattern? Or is this thing just too close? Well, you should be able to see it on your own projects if you're following along. Now, once again, got 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches with 1 single crochet in each. Then over the next 2 stitches, make into 1, 2 crochet together stitch, just like that. And you'll repeat this around again. Oops, too many stitches. Like I said, it can be easy when you're starting out or rushing through a project to miscount the number of stitches you've done. So make sure to count your stitches or take a break to do so. Most at the end of each row will make sure to count the number of stitches they're supposed to have in comparison to what they actually see on the project. And a lot of patterns will show you in the instructions how many you're supposed to have in each row. One for this row. Now we'll move this string stitch counter up a row. And in the next one, we're going to do 3 single crochets, 1 in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Then, just like in the previous row, insert under the stitch, yarn over, pull through. Then, in the decrease from the previous row, insert hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. Like I said. 1, 2, and 3 stitches that have 1 single crochet. Then your next stitch, over the course of the next 2 stitches, bring up 1 loop in each, yarn over, and pull through. Just like that. Maybe I should have chosen a darker color so you guys could see. Now, this is definitely a great way to use up scrapped yarn from other projects that you have. And it makes each egg or Cyclops, if you're going with the original pattern by Voodoo Maggie, and I'm going to be saying her name a lot because this is her project and design, not mine. Anyway, like I was saying, great way to use up a lot of yarn that you have left over. And you don't necessarily need to make it all one color. If you remember my previous video, I showed you how to change between yarn colors. And you can easily apply that here. In fact, my yarn will change color, or is supposed to change color, since this is a self-striping yarn. And this is also good if you're trying to recreate certain Pokemon eggs from the anime. Okay, let's remove our stitch counter. Place it in front of the loop or the stitch we just made to decrease. And for the next row, it's just going to be 2 single crochets with a decrease after those 2. Like so. 1 loop, 2 loop, yarn over, pull through 3. Gotta remember, be careful where the yarn goes here. I'll show you again in case you didn't see that. First, 1 stitch, 1 single crochet, 1 stitch, 1 single crochet. Then 1 loop, 2, 1 loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops. And again, repeat this throughout the row. This should give you, if I haven't lost count, 18 stitches. And your egg should start actually looking like an egg by this point. So I start to think in my case it's probably going to look more like a ball. That stitch. Like I said, if you're rushing through things, it can be easy to mess up. Even on the easiest of projects. Or maybe especially when it's on the easiest of projects. decrease on this row, and there we go. You might notice by now that you can see with the decreases how they line up diagonally. And I'm wishing I chose a darker color for this. Now our final row, you're going to need, instead of doing one stitch and then the decrease like you've been doing, you're going to bring up one loop in the first stitch, another loop in the second, yarn over, and pull through. And do that again over the next two stitches. 1, 2, and pull through. Now repeat this all around. Now don't worry about the little bit of a hole we'll still have after this, because we're going to need that later. I mean, how else are you going to stuff this little egg? There we go. Now, this is where you would fasten off, or basically cut off the end, but make sure you have a nice long string to do it with. Because, like I said, we're going to sew this up at the end. Snip. And what? Didn't I open the bag of stuffing earlier? The final step for this is to stuff it nice and firm. Gross. You're going to end up with a not very plush little egg. I would recommend having a stick or using your crochet hook to help you push in all the stuffing, because this might start to get a little tight. And I repeat, we need to stuff this firmly. Now some of you guys are allergic to polyester fibers. I believe there are some craft stores or places like Walmart that sell cotton stuffing. This just tends to be the go-to for most people, because supposedly it's hypoallergenic. Which is good for people with allergies or sensitive skin. Now, how do you tell when you've stuffed it enough? One, you should be able to get a decent shape still out of it, and not be able to squish it so that it gets misshaped. That may take maybe an ounce or two of the yarn, or I mean not the yarn, so you could probably use that if you wanted, like all those scraps from trimmings and such. Basically, I just bought a big bag full, because not only do I have this project, I've got one more I'm going to try and do later on if I can get this stuffed properly. This is going to be a longer video than I thought. There we go. Not too stuffed. And if it looks like it's starting to spill out, you can always take out a little bit. Because that does happen sometimes, that you put in too much. And this is basically the art part of arts and crafts. Oops. go. Now to finish it off, take your tapestry needle, insert that end piece that we left, and then start weaving it through that last row that we had before. You can do it in and out through the top of the stitches. And this should help you to create a closure, just like on one of those drawstring pouches you see. This should also let you know if you've stuffed it enough, because if there's not enough, again, you'll be able to squish it a lot smaller than it is. Too much and it'll just bounce back in shape. I think this one's just right. Yeah, the bottom's going to end up looking like a Christmas ornament. In retrospect, I think mine kind of looks like a ball. But that happens sometimes too. Otherwise, that should be it for your egg. Unless you want to try recreating certain Pokemon looks, in which case you may want to check out what sort of sewing thread you have so you can sew in the shapes. Like red and blue triangles for Togepi. Or if we're trying to recreate the eggs from Pokemon Go, purple, green, orange, you get what I mean. But basically, this part is to make sure no stuffing comes out of your egg. And like I said, this is basically just the body for the original design, which you're free to look for in the book by Voodoo Maggie, Adorable Amigurumi, Cute and Quirky Crochet Critters. And no, this is not sponsored. I just happen to have it from a trip I went on some years back. Because hey, I like to crochet. As if you can't tell from the fact that this is my second video on crocheting. But anyway, if you like this video, make sure to leave a like, comment if you want to see more, or if you have any other ideas on what I should do for crocheting. Subscribe if you're new, for sure. And as always, I'm your host, Christina, signing off.